There is concern right now that even students who don't have disabilities just aren't learning as effectively as they did before the pandemic. Now think about those who do. Special education is largely about finding the right resources and environment to make progress possible for that particular student. COVID-19 took away a lot of those options, and the concern is the gap that already existed between kids with and without special needs is only growing wider. When Jasmarie Torres was young, her parents recognized that she had sensory processing disorder, but it was only recently, after they noticed that she was bothered by loud noises and certain textures of food or clothing, that she was diagnosed with a form of autism.
This isn't going to be easy.
Which became especially challenging when the governor ordered schools closed for in-person learning back in March.
It was a nightmare for us. It kind of makes me emotional thinking about it.
Without the same help Jasmarie had on campus at French Elementary in District 3, her family struggled to move forward.
Her having constant meltdowns because I didn't know how to teach her the way that she needed to learn, or me just kind of giving up and saying I can't do this because I don't know how to teach her.
They thought she would be able to go back this fall without a mask, which would aggravate her condition. But 2 days before school began,
the school counselor called me and informed me that even though Jasmarie had a doctor's note, that she would still be required to wear a mask.
According to District 3, students who have a doctor's note don't have to wear a mask, and they do work with families to accommodate students with special needs. So it's unclear exactly where the breakdown happened in this case, but it does highlight the broader challenges that parents face in navigating this new learning environment. Some of those parents sought help from Peak Parent Center.
I think we view ourselves as the guide by their side.
Missy Cedars is a parent advisor at Peak, providing parents and sometimes teachers guidance and resources to find the best possible solutions for students with special needs. The coronavirus increased their incoming calls and emails by 20 to 30%.
It's definitely added a significant layer of complexity in terms of helping the students be successful.
But Cedars points out that while the learning environments have changed, federal education requirements have not. The Individuals with Disabilities Education Act requires that all disabled children be offered a free and appropriate public education. And the Secretary of Education announced earlier this year that despite COVID-19, no waivers would be granted. Students must continue to make progress.
There is no lesser responsibility on the school districts to provide a free, appropriate public education than there was before. Nothing in that law has changed.
So how far should districts have to go to accommodate students with special needs? Dr. Paul Foster with the Colorado Department of Education says while schools don't have to replicate the exact setting that existed before the pandemic, they should be finding solutions that are possible.
You know, there may be some situations where parents and schools look at a particular service for a particular child, and they have to say, this just isn't going to work in a remote setting, but these things will work, so we're going to prioritize these.
Both Dr. Foster and Cedars agree that the most important thing for families to do is communicate with your campus or district.
Almost all the time, you know, when we make sure parents and special ed directors are talking, the issues are resolved.
Kids' education is always better if it's a partnership between parents and school and the schools. And that partnership has to be a conversation. Pick up the phone, send those emails, get a conversation started.
And if the first call doesn't work, try a second or a third at the campus and the district level. And if that still doesn't work, it might be time to reach out to the state for help or an organization like the nonprofit Peak Parent Center. Information on how to reach Peak as well as contribute to a virtual fundraiser happening right now is on our website, krdo.com.